everyone, Jaimie Madison here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are playing with The Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh my goodness, I love this movie. I was a fan of this movie before it became a big hit. I had the VCR tape when I was I want to say 10 years old, and my friends would watch it and they're like, why do you like this? I'm like, how do you not like Tim Burton? So I had to do a card with The Nightmare Before Christmas. To start off, I'm going through and taping down some Canson XL watercolor paper. Now, to start this background, what I'm going to do is I'm going in with my 906, which is white gold. It's just a shimmer, and I'm putting that down, and I'm still spraying the paper with water to wet my paper down. Then I'm going to go in with my 38 Imperial Violet, and I'm going to just do half of that up. So I want it to be lighter at the bottom and darker at the top, almost like the sun has already set, night sky is darker, and then towards the bottom is lighter. After I go in with my Imperial Violet, I'm going in with my number 20 black, and I'm just putting this up at the very top and blending my violet into this dark black. So the reason I use the black is I just wanted that purple to be just a little bit darker. I didn't go crazy with the black yet. I am going to dry this and redo another section of it as well, but I'm bringing that purple down right now before I heat set it so it blends out very well. After I went ahead and heat set it and made it all dry, you can tell it fades the color quite a lot. So in order for me to get a bigger payoff, I'm going back in with my number 20 black at the very top, and then going straight in with my 38 Imperial Violet. Then I'm going to blend those two together. This is going to give me a darker look, and this is what I'm wanting. It's not like a mistake that I did, and oh no, I gotta fix it. No, this is actually what I wanted. I want it to be super dark. Then I'm going to go in with my heat set tool once again and heat set this. But I need to put some stars on this background. So I'm going to be going in with the same Kuretake watercolors. This is in white, number 10. And I'm just going to take my medium watercolor brush, and I'm just going to really water that down, and then I'm just going to tap on the brush. This way the watercolor doesn't go everywhere. I mean, it pretty much stays in the little area that I'm making the mess in. And I'm going to set that aside to dry. To get started on my Jack Skellington, I am going in with my Arteza markers. I start with my 174 Dolphin Gray, and as you guys see, my colors are listed up at the left-hand top corner, as I do always. I know with a couple of them, whenever I start getting too many colors, I will list them down below, but instead I decided to do these individually. Like Jack has his colors, Sally has her colors, and Zero has his colors. That way I don't have a whole line of colors the whole time. So then I'm going to go in with my 130 and Elephant Gray. Now with the same Elephant Gray, I'm going in and making lines on Jack's outfit, because I remember him in The Nightmare Before Christmas, he had like a pinstripe suit. So I wanted to give him a pinstripe suit. So I just went in with my 130 and I gave him some nice dark lines. And then I'm going to go in with the 174, and I'm just going to put that on my mat and water that down. Put that on his face because we don't want him to be completely white. We want it to be, a little bit of a shadow. Then to go in with Sally, my favorite character. I love Sally. She is such a sweetheart. So innocent, so sweet. They say that she never died, that she actually was created in this world. Every other character by Tim Burton has a horror story of how they became who they are, what happened to them. So there's all kinds of myths and things out there about how Jack died and how Sally may have died, or the professor or the mayor. So if you're ever interested in how they died, I think you can look that up. I know there's some YouTube videos as well of people's thinking of what could have happened, because I know Tim Burton was really mysterious when it came to his characters. So to start with Sally, we're going in with our Rogue Pink. I'm just doing her patch dress, just like she has in the movie. That would be 190 for Rogue Pink, 167 for Ocean Blue, 161 for Emerald, 128 for Bumblebee Yellow, 142 for Amethyst Purple, and the Arctic Blue, the 117, is going to be her skin tone. So what I did was I put that on my mat so I could water it down so it wouldn't be such a huge color payoff. I want it to be more muted. I didn't want her to be like super blue. Then I'm going to go in for her red hair with the 114 Current Red. And then also for her hair, I didn't want it just to be one shade of red. I went in with wine red to give it some shadow as well. I really like the way the wine red played off with the current red. Now to start on the pumpkins, I'm going to do a super simple coloring these pumpkins. I'm just going in with my 112 in orange, coloring it all in. I'm not worried about going around the eyes or getting it in the mouth. I'm going to be coloring those in with a Sharpie marker at the end anyway, so I wasn't concerned about keeping the color in the lines. So I just went over with my 112 in orange, and then to give it some, shadow, we always want some shadow. We don't want just a plain one color. I'm going to go in with my orange rust in 169, and then to finish the little green toppers at the very top, I went in with my 161 in emerald green. Now 0, I went in with my 174 in Dolphin Gray, because 0 is also white, but we don't want him to be stark white. We want him to have a little bit of color. So grays work wonderful for whenever you're wanting him to still pop up out of the background, but not be completely white, looking like you just cut out a white image and just stuck it on your card. This way, it looks like we wanted him to be white, but not stark white. And then I went in with my 101 in red for his nose, and don't forget his collar is red as well. I'm going to go ahead and color in my pumpkins with a Sharpie marker, just the eyes, nose, and mouth. Now here is a trick for your watercolor background. This is going to bring out those colors. I'm going to be using the Tim Holtz glaze. This I usually use on my cards that I'm sending in the mail, or if I'm doing a custom envelope that I also did watercoloring or painting on that I don't want to get runt. I will put this on it and then I will buff it off. So for this I decided, because I like the way it makes all the colors vibrant and pop, I went ahead and just added it to my background. Now, whenever you do this, you cannot use tape. This almost makes like a plasticky kind of feeling for the paper. So if you use any kind of tape adhesive, it's just going to peel off very easily. So if you're going to use double-sided foam tape, which I will show you here in a minute, make sure you use glue as well with it. So for my background, I just took my long cuts and did a black hill die. Then I went ahead and drew the pumpkin mountain, and I'm just going to cut that out. This is just pretty much a spiral hill that kind of just goes into a little tiny circle at the very end. It's not that hard to cut out, believe it or not. You would think it might be a little bit harder to fussy cut this out, but it wasn't that bad. I actually surprised myself. Just make sure whenever you draw it the opposite way you want it to go, so your pencil marks don't show up on the finished side. So if you want your pumpkin hill to go to the left, make sure you draw it on the right, so when you cut it out, you can get what I'm saying? That way it doesn't have all kinds of lines and stuff on your background. So now that I have my pumpkin mountain cut out, I'm going to start assembling the card. To assemble the card, I'm going to be using my Tombow glue. Like I said, you don't want to use any kinds of tape because the tape will not, it'll stay, but it can come off very easily, and it's just not worth putting all that time and effort into a beautiful card for it to come apart. So I use glue. So I went ahead and adhered my background for my pumpkin mountain. It doesn't have to be straight. We want it to be kind of at an angle because my hill die will tie in with that beautifully. I went ahead and used glue to glue that down as well. And then I put some foam adhesive on my character Jack and then removed the backing and then used my Tombow glue to make sure that he was not going to go anywhere. I want to make sure when I do my cards that they are going to last. I don't want to take a chance and send it in the mail and then they get it and they're like, oh, am I supposed to assemble this? So I wanted to make sure he was going to stay. Now with Jack, he has super long arms and Sally has shorter arms. So I cut one of his arms and I just kind of pieced him back together because I wanted him to have his hand outreach towards Sally saying, here, take my hand. And it worked perfect. They are holding hands just the way I wanted them to. Now for their eyes, I went back in with my black Sharpie marker, colored in their eyes and their expressions because stamping ink is still not as dark as Sharpie marker ink. So I wanted that to be nice and dark. Went in with my white Jelly Roll pen. I just gave some highlights to Jack's eyes and Sally's. On the pumpkins, also glued them down. So this is not a very dimensional card, which is fine with me because I love the background. It was either have a vibrant background and have it not very dimensional, or not have a very vibrant background and be dimensional. So I chose the vibrant background being not as dimensional. Now for the stars in the sky, I'm using my Studio Katia silver crystals. I love Studio Katia. I actually just made an order with Simon Says Stamp and ordered a whole bunch more sequins because I was running low. And those are one of my favorite things to add to cards are sequins. So I went ahead and ordered a whole bunch more sequins. I could do a haul if you guys want to see, but if not, maybe I'll post a couple pictures on my Instagram of all the colors that I got. Now, no worries if you don't have glitter paper, because I just took my black background and just went around the border of the background with Wink Stella. I did go over this twice, so I went through it once and then went back over it for the second time. But this way, my background for my card looks like a glitter cardstock, and it matches the Pumpkin Mountain, because I did that also with some Wink Stella, because Pumpkin Mountain is magical. So then I went ahead and popped this up with some foam adhesive, and you will see that I'm not going to apply this to my card. My camera actually cut off, thankfully, just right here at the very end and not like halfway through my card and missed everything, but it just cut out at the very end. Did stamp in the middle Happy Halloween with a little spider and pumpkin, but these are adorable. I just love this card, and I hope you guys loved it too. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys later. Bye!